Hello, everybody. It's Marla. I wanted to talk more about this Virgo new moon. I know that I put out a video talking about healing the guilt with the new moon, but there's another aspect of this that I wanted to come back and talk about. And this is connected to the Aries full moon as well. We're really getting called deeper into service right now. And this is actually an extension of healing the guilt and shame because that energy has been a block to embodying our true self or the essence of our soul. And the more that we release that guilt, the more we come into embodiment. And the more we're in embodiment, the more we just naturally are of service. Now, there are so many levels to service, so many layers there. But if we just focus on becoming our true, authentic self, then the rest will just naturally take care of itself. Let me repeat the quote that I said in my other video, which was a quote about the meaning of existential guilt from the National Institute of Health. Existential guilt arises when one is distracted from or impeded from exerting one's will and responsibility in living up to one's unique potential. This shift, as I said, is going to be felt mostly between now and the first solar eclipse in Libra that's on October 14th, but especially in the period between the Virgo new moon on September 14th and the Aries full moon, which is on September 29th. So we have the energy of Virgo, which is the sign of service and what we can do every day in order to fulfill our service. But also, Virgo is the healing, healer energy, and also the healing of the existential guilt that everyone is feeling right now, which is really coming from Aries, or I would say that not Aries, Virgo best personifies that energy of the existential guilt and how we come to have it. But then we also have this energy of Aries, because Aries deals with self actualization of our will and the strength and courage to stand up for what is right. With the energy of Aries, we have the inner power to express our unique self. A big factor in the shift into service right now is the healing of the separation wound. So when we are imbalanced with our twin, we see separation as only being about our twin and the journey to being in a relationship with our twin. While that may be part of your plan, I think it's really important right now to broaden the energy of separation. Separation doesn't just affect our unions, but separation affects our soul group and it affects the entirety of humanity. What we really want to heal is separation and disunity globally. And when we keep some of these bigger ideas in mind, it can remove the sting of what is happening on an individual basis. One of the things that's happening now is we're clearing a lot of karmic distortions, and a lot of this is occurring on the grid. I think I said in a video earlier in the summer that a lot of you were going to be doing grid work, and that has certainly been true. Many of the sessions that I'm doing with people right now have to do with karmic energy that's attached to different grid points and how that is then corded into your energy field and creating distortions. When it comes to twins, only one of you needs to go to a certain grid point and activate it in order for that activation to be affecting both of you. And this may happen consciously or subconsciously. So, you have to be aware when you're going different places, even if you're traveling a short distance away, that you could be activating a grid point where you're having another lifetime in another dimension. So when that happens, you or your twin could be activated into negative thought patterns, guilt for something that happened in the past, an emotional release, or even dreams and memories of those lifetimes start to come up into our consciousness. This work is really important right now because of the serious shifts that we're experiencing. And we've had Saturn and Karma transiting together for a while. Right now, they're in a pretty tight conjunction at the very beginning of Pisces. They're actually going back to the the zero degree of Pisces. And this is bringing in a lot of releasing of the interference energy. So as we head into fall and the eclipses, the changes that we're making in our energetic field are going to become more anchored. With that, our abilities as creators are becoming strengthened. So we really want to remove any distortions so that they don't interfere with what we are creating. Because what we're creating should be of service to humanity rather than something that creates more disillusionment. So these changes are both because of and attributing to less separation in the energy. By the very nature of service, our creative expression will be aligned with the collective, either consciously through some form of collaboration or subconsciously through creating that which heals and raises up the collective. And I just want to say this doesn't have to be something on like a grand scale. The idea that it has to be something really big comes from our ego. But it can just be something that raises our own vibration and then that spreads to other people. All this work that we've been doing on healing the guilt and healing the inner protector, healing the inner critic, has been healing both the fears and the walls that make us afraid to be the creators. But you need to remember that this is just a learning process. Everything isn't going to be perfect right out of the gate, and that's okay. That's why we have to be easy on ourselves, while at the same time staying persistent and trying to do better. Purity is a key. And purity comes from our inner being. I have always believed that all the problems in our world were going to be solved one day by light workers tapping into their inner knowing and their desire to help. I think everything has an answer somewhere, and we just need to tap into that energy. And so that's why I don't stress about a lot of things that other people tend to stress about, because I just trust. I trust you, and I trust all the good in human nature when it acts from love. I'm willing to bet that a lot of you have a project that you've been thinking about doing, but maybe it hasn't felt like the right time to take action towards it. Or maybe you've been working on a project for a while, but things get stalled and it's hard for you to focus on it. And it might even feel a little bit frustrating right now. With this Virgo energy coming in, daily action steps coupled with the Aries drive, it will soon be time to start or finish up those things. Of course, just the energy by itself can't do everything. We have to be dedicated, be persistent. We have to take action and be motivated. But I definitely feel like change is very, very close now. Another thing that's been in the process of healing that I feel is ready to level up in some way is our ability to speak out. Whether that's sharing your true feelings with someone or whether it's you sharing the wisdom from your soul. Just like everything else, it's been a journey to release the fears to that. And this is probably like the number one karmic issue for light workers that I see. This like overcoming the fear and the persecution that you've experienced in order to speak out. So we need to be honest and straightforward, but we also need to be compassionate. Stay tuned into the energy of forgiveness. We speak our truth to heal, not to hurt. There's actually a lot of distorted energy within the new age dogma that promotes anger in the way of being a truther. Like people feel they have permission to be angry because they're somehow spreading the truth. People are going to find their own truth through example, not by being attacked. We have to develop humbleness and patience with other people. Patience is one of those things on the twin flame journey that we always get frustrated by, you know, um, and we think that we've learned patience, but patience comes in so many different forms, right? And one of the ways is being patient with other people when other people aren't at your level, other people that aren't at your consciousness, other people that are in resistance. We need to have patience with them and their growth and be able to give them time and space. But yeah, our creations and our service demands our honesty. So to wrap things up, let's just bring it back to the twin journey to each other. Service is the core reason that you met your twin. And you don't have to be in physical union with your twin to be of service. In fact, often the feminine energy needs to actively pursue a life of service in order to attract their twin. And that's going to be based on your blueprint, but being of service heals us. You may have heard that term, service to self. In Atlantis, we became divided between service to self and service to others. This was an experiment into polarities. But hopefully we've learned that service to others is what leads to right action, at least more often than service to self. So as we continue to clear this guilt, we're going to anchor more of our true self. We're going to be able to share our true feelings. We're going to be able to take bold action, and we're going to be able to create the life and union of our dreams.